In this video, I'll be making the winner's nails from my previous giveaway. They wanted an ombre French tip with hollow, so that's what we're doing. Let me know in the comments what sort of design you would like, and I'll be picking a winning subscriber for my next giveaway set. So it's a fairly simple design, doesn't take a whole lot. We're going to be using Luxa Muse for our base, and the Madame Glam Cat Eye Hollow, which is gorgeous, really easy to work with, and also simply a set of eyeshadows in a palette, and that will give us our beautiful ombre colors. So this is going to be a press-on set, obviously. I have already gone ahead and done my tip prep like I always do, as well as my primer, so that our nails stay on really nice and wear for weeks and weeks on end, or save them and wear them regularly just for going out. Save them in your jewelry box or wherever you like to keep your nails, and you can use them over and over and over again. So let's just dive right in. This is a pretty quick and simple set. All the nails will be the same, so I'll just show you a couple of really good tips and techniques for it, and away we go. So we're just going to start out by doing 2 layers of color on all of our nails. Doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you do want to watch for shadowing with these really sheer colors, because that tends to be an issue if you're not being careful when you're laying it down thin. So I'll go ahead and do a double coat on all of the nails. All right, so I have now got 2 coats of this beautiful Luxa Muse on my tips. And what we're going to do next is a matte top coat. All right, so we've got our tips out of the lamp. They now have 2 coats of the Luxa Muse and a matte top coat over them. That's going to make it a lot easier for us to ombre our powders so that they end up looking nice and smooth. So we're just going to start off by grabbing a tip, using just your regular eyeshadow application brush. What I found the easiest to do is start from the middle. So I'm going to load some powder onto my brush. You don't need too much. I'm going to start in the middle. Go up from there. And then the next one I want is the teal color. And we're going to place that over on the side. You can see, even though I'm using really bright colors out of this palette, once you've got them onto the matte surface, they really pale out. So your color isn't as saturated, which in this case is good. If you were to do it over a sticky layer, say a base coat or even the inhibition layer from your color, you would be getting a much darker pigment that would stick, but it does not blend as well, and it does get a little patchy looking because it's literally sticking to that sticky inhibition layer. So there I've gone in with the pink. All right. So you want to give it a nice rub in. Layer your colors over each other a little to get that nice ombre effect. Remember, your darker ones are always going to dominate, so you want to be gentle with blending them. Okay, you don't want a harsh line up at the top, so I go in with a blender brush. Again, this is just from a makeup kit, eyeshadow, or different brushes from a makeup set. Nothing fancy. Well, they're very pretty, but just Amazon brushes. And you see how I've kind of faded out and smoothed out that transition there, so there's no harsh lines. And then you can brush out your ombre. And that just kind of smooths things out, and you don't have any really sharp transition lines. Okay. And real easy, if there's something about it that you don't like, you can use something little like this for cleanup, or simply wipe the whole thing away and start it again. And I just do a quick check to see if they're all somewhat similar as far as my nail bed space. They look pretty good. They certainly don't have to be precise, but just so they're kind of nothing too extreme one way or the other. This one here goes a little low. Again, most of it's going to be covered up with our holo, so it doesn't have to be anything too precise. Once that alcohol dries, I'll pull the color out a bit more to smooth that out. All right, so our next step for these tips is going to be putting a base coat on them. We don't want to just go straight in with a top coat or anything, but we still want to seal this in with a base coat because it is a pigment, and that doesn't lend to sticking very well to things. So because I don't want my pigment in my base coat, I just kind of put some on the edge here. And I will go in with a application brush and just bring that down. It's always good to have different base coats for your different techniques. I do have base coats and top coats for working with chromes and glitters, but with pigments I typically do this because I don't want the glitters and the chromes necessarily mixed up in my pigments. And I don't want to have 3 bottles for everything, 4 bottles for your regular one. All right, so now that my pigment is nicely sealed in with a base coat so that it's not going anywhere, it'll help to prevent chipping or any other issues with separation from the nail. So now I'm going to go in with my Madame Glam Cat Eye Holo. This stuff is gorgeous. And I use a really heavy duty magnet, but you can get all kinds of them on sticks and straight wands. And so we'll just go in with our Cat Eye Holo. And I did try these a few different ways. I tried some holo powders that I have on the tips. I did try doing these with ombre polish colors on the tips. Everything was too bold. They weren't turning out the way I wanted. Using the pigment, the eyeshadow pigment, and the cat eye polish gave me the ideal effect that I was looking for. You can see we're just bringing that cat eye up to the surface really nicely. And then we don't want any at the tip, the cuticle area, because we want it to look more like a French tip. So we'll go in here, we'll move that down. We're just pushing it along the nail. You can go right up to the top if you want. Personally, I prefer to leave just the cuticle clear of the hollow and do the rest. So you're going to want to do these one nail at a time because you need to get them into the lamp and set before the magnet starts shifting around, as it's known to do. Always remember too, when you're working with cat eye polishes, give it a really good mix before you start, because that magnetization does tend to settle and you'll be frustrated because you're trying to figure out where all your beautiful magnetized is. Magnetics? Magnet. All your beautiful magnet look is. And I truly recommend getting a really strong magnet if you can, as opposed to using just the little wands or that you can purchase separately. They do work. I just find it much less frustrating, and I get much better results using something like this. I'm sure you can find really super strong magnets, places like Amazon and such. This one I have randomly. There we go. Plus, I like the size of it. It's very large, so it tends to do a really good French line, kind of all on its own. I don't have to mess with it quite as much as I might otherwise. It's been so much fun making this set for my winning subscriber, Autumn May Parody 4403, and I can't wait to see what ideas you guys come up with to do the next giveaway. This Madame Glam magnetic cat eye is so versatile. You can do so many fun things with it. It's really something you don't want to miss out in your collection. There's so much stuff you can do with it. The possibilities are endless, as they say. And there you have it, all top coated. Such a simple but beautiful design. Ombre cat eye hollow French tips. So remember, I want to make your nails. All you got to do is be subscribed and leave a comment below telling me what sort of nail designs you'd like, and I'll make the winner's nails in the next giveaway. Thanks again, guys.